It was built by the senior official back in Song Dynasty. So today's first visit is to Caixiangchi. So what shall we pay attention to in looking at the Loyolan Bridge? So we have to pay attention to several tablets. And also when we look at the bridge, we are also able to see some of the inscriptions that has been carved on the bridge. For the Sanjie tablet, you could see all of these concise calligraphy and also very exquisite carving. So first, I would like to show you two tablets. We're calling the Three Excellence tablet, and actually this is actually produced by one of the well-known writer and poet, Chiang. So why he want to carve all of these inscriptions? For the Loyolan Bridge, it was built in 1056, and for Chiang, he used to be a senior official in this area. So the reason we are building this bridge and also to set up this tablet is to pay tribute to this senior official. So can you tell us more about his writing? So we are talking about this tablet as considered as one of the excellent tablets. So for this one, it captures the time when we are building the bridge, the size of the bridge, and also investment of the bridge. Also, in another part, it talks about the function of the bridge. So as you said, it uses some of the lines and the characters to describe the functions of the bridge. It said we can bring safety to the local people because they do not have to cross the river. In the future, they can use the bridge to cross the river. So especially in Song and Yuan dynasty, it is very important to have this Loyolan Bridge. So now we are about to approach the Loyolan Bridge to uncover the mystery of this bridge. So this is the Caixiang monument. When did it built? It was built in the North Song dynasty. This is actually a memorial temple built by the local people. You could see it has the Fujian characteristics, the red tile, the red bricks. It is in commemoration of the senior official Caixiang back in the Song dynasty. So soon we'll also pass the ancient streets. So it is quite convenient for the local people to pay tribute to the official Caixiang. It is just 300 meters away from the Loyolan Bridge. For these 300 meters, we will also pass a street, an ancient street, the Tionan Street. I believe it has a history of 600 years. Mr. Chen, can you tell us more about the history of Tionan Street? For the Tionan Street, it is a very thriving street. If we start from the Memorial Temple of Caixiang, just within 100 meters, and then we'll be arriving in the Tionan Street. On the other side of the bridge, we are going to Zhongtian. So for this bridge, it's actually connecting the Memorial Temple as well as the ancient street. And here you could see some of the local intangible cultural heritage in Fujian. So what is that? It feels like a muddy figure in the northern part of China. And this is actually an intangible cultural heritage in Fujian Province. This is also a cliff figure. And especially during holidays, we have so many people coming to this ancient street. And for kids, when they're coming to the street, they would like to buy this kind of clay figure. If you look at the shape and also the character of these different figures, they're using some of the legendary figures. For example, we could see the Monkey King, and also in the shape of some of the ancient figures and some cartoon characters. So I believe we have made some innovations of this figure. So in the past, we are just like making all of those figures representing the ancient people. But right now, the kids really love cartoon characters. That's why we changed this clay figure into cartoon characters. And also, you could see this quite colorful. And actually, we are making this with glutinous rice. And also, we are adding some of the edible color. So this is free of poison. We have to use all of these colorful clay to make the figure. And you can see we have many cartoon characters. And they're in different postures. And this is very cute. And the kids really love this kind of clay figure. You can see we have the shape of tigers, dragons, and all of these are quite vivid. And the color will not fade away even under strong sunlight. And for this kind of figures, and actually it has over 200 years of history. So this is one of the intangible cultural heritage in Fujian Province. So I believe this area has really long history, and also people may be more interested in Loyolan Bridge. So now actually we are walking on the Tionan Street, and it lasts for about 300 meters, and then we will arrive at our destination, which is the Loyolan Bridge. So now I would like to show you a video, so you could have an aerial look of what it looks like in the Tionan Street. In this area, you could see all of these buildings' architectures are using the red tile and the red bricks. And this also shows an ancient style of the streets. We have the red bricks, and also we have the trees alongside these buildings. So this is very colorful. This is a unique feature for the ancient building back in the Fujian Province. For this kind of red brick and red tile construction, also seek World Heritage status, because we really want to pass down this style of construction and this style of architecture by generations. So we can tell for this area, for the Tionan Street, it's very beautiful, and also it is very down to earth. We see some people, they're actually picking the oysters, so it also reflects the livelihood of fishermen. And in this street, we also have some local snacks. All of these are Fujian delicacies. For example, we have the deep fried dough, and some of those snacks and food also passing down for generations. On this side, we have another memorial temple. So this could be dated back to Yuan dynasty. In the past, this area, we have a cluster of villages. And there are many historic figures from this village. So for Ming and Qing dynasty, we have many senior officials coming from this memorial temple. This is what we call the Liu Shijia Temple. On this tablet, we could see this place, the Liu Shijia Temple, is also considered as a provincial level intangible cultural heritage. So you can see we have 4 characters on the wall. This also shows that many senior officials are coming up from this memorial temple. So I do see a lot of distinct features for this architecture. So you could see the roof is quite unique. So also we are using the copper tile to build the roof. This is quite an interesting style. And also we have stones piling up below the tile. So in this area, still it preserves some of the ancient style. So in this area, even though it is not a tangible cultural heritage, and it is not a world heritage, but still it is very close to the Loyolan Bridge. We also taken a lot of measures to preserve this area, the ancient street. For according to the rules of UNESCO, for example, if we have some other streets and ancient buildings nearby the World Heritage Sites, we still have to take some preservation measures to protect all of those areas so that we can review the history of the whole area. And for these surrounding places, they are also protecting the Loyolan Bridge. So they are the protector of the bridge. Now we are seeing another building. What is that? These are the buildings coming from Qing dynasty. I believe this is another memorial temple. There are many temples inside of these ancient streets. For example, if a big family living in this street, so there may be many memorial temples located in this street. By looking at some of the tablets and inscriptions inside of the memorial temple, we could understand the history of the whole family. I think for this one, it also represents the Asian style. If you look at the shape of the pillar, the kind of the arc shape, it also shows the Asian style. I believe there were many overseas compatriots they used to live here in the past. That's why they are bringing in some of the foreign style for the local architecture. And there is another temple right next to me. This is also a home to a local official. And also he represents the protector in the local area. So in Fujian Province, we always believe in God. And in this area, we also see very typical style of the Mingnan architecture. For example, the red tile and the red bricks. And also we have many stones below the roof. And this will also help this architecture to fight against the earthquake. And there is a gong here. And also there is a legend here, because in the past people are saying that one kind of the gong is able to produce 10 different sounds. So some people are using the olive branch to beat the gong, to strike the gong. So maybe you can show us the sound of the gong. It's very interesting. So we are using this traditional gong to produce a very nice rhythm. This is the gong that are able to produce 10 different kinds of sound. And also you could see he's also selling cymbals and also a kind of percussion instrument. And soon we will be arriving at the southern part of the Loyolan Bridge. For Loyolan Bridge, it has thousands of years of history. Because of my work, I visited Loyolan Bridge a few times in the past few days. It reminded me of one of the poets from Taiwan, and he used to write the poem named after Loyolan Bridge. So in general, the idea of the poem is talking about the history of the bridge and also the history of the pagoda. And also he talks about the merchant ship, how many merchant ships has passed the Loyolan Bridge. This bridge was built in the North Song dynasty, and why the bridge was built. And also, what is the function of the Loyolan Bridge? Once again, I would like to invite Madame Chen to give us more explanation. In the past, there were so many merchant ships coming from and to Quanzhou, and they would sell the cargoes and the goods to different parts of China. After we built the Loyolan Bridge, we're able to connect the city of Quanzhou to other parts of China. In Song-Yuan dynasties, actually the marine business is quite prosperous. In the past, if we don't have the bridge, how these people do business? If we don't have the bridge, people are not able to cross the river, especially for people travel from north to south. They have to take a boat, and if we run into some severe weather condition, it is quite dangerous. And right now we are seeing there is a performance going on in front of the bridge. Maybe because this time Quanzhou has successfully gained the World Heritage status, and the people are coming here for a celebration. Once again, I think this is a southeastern style of the performance. In Quanzhou, we have many people from the Southeast Asia to stay here. And this is actually the Indonesia dance. And for some people, they are actually overseas compatriots. And some people are coming back to China. So now you could see they are performing a very typical Indonesia dance. So this also could bring more entertainment to people who are living in Quanzhou. And also you could see the move. It's very beautiful and also colorful costumes for these performers. And also you could see they are holding the fruits on top of their head. It is also a style of the Southeast Asia. So this is actually their tradition to hold up the fruits on top of their head, and also they are wearing very traditional costumes. Now let's continue our journey to the Loyolan Bridge. Now I would like to show you a video so that you could enjoy an aerial view of Loyolan Bridge. So Mr. Wu, can you tell us more about this bridge? Before we have the bridge, some of the goods are not able to be transferred to the other side of this river, or people have to take a boat, or they have to go through the mountainous area. It is very dangerous. According to our historic record, the river is quite deep. So it is quite dangerous if you're taking a boat to cross the river, especially when you encounter adverse weather conditions. So soon we also have the Quanzhou Bay near this area. For this river, it is called the Loyolan River. Speaking of Loyolan Bridge and the Loyolan River, I'm quite curious. Actually, I originally coming from Henan Province. We understand we have a Luoyang city in Henan Province. Why we name this bridge and the river after Luoyang? In this area, it is actually located in the plain area. That's why we call it Luoyang. It just sounds the same with the Luoyang city of Henan Province. And also some people, especially back in the ancient times, some people are migrating to Quanzhou city from the central plain. So we are also naming this bridge as Loyolan Bridge. So it shows the connection between Quanzhou and the central plain. And in Fujian Province, we also have a place called Jinjiang and Jingzhou, but also it is a different place. For Loyolan River, it is the second largest river in Quanzhou. As you said, 1,000 years ago, we don't have such a peace and stability in this place. There is strong wind and also strong wave. It is very difficult to travel on the river back in thousands of years ago. That's why people are dedicated to build this bridge. After the bridge was built, it will connect the city to the ports in the surrounding and the neighboring cities. So this is not the only bridge in Quanzhou, and some other bridges also gain World Heritage status this time. So, for example, we also have Anping Bridge in Quanzhou. So for the Anping Bridge, it learned the lessons in the bridge construction, and also it has some innovations in building the bridge. So this is also a transportation hub connecting Quanzhou and Guangzhou. This is also helping up to build the waterland transportation network in the southern part of Quanzhou. This is also a vital transport link between Quanzhou and the vast southern coastal region of China. And also we have the site of Schwenty Bridge. And this is also considered as the main access route to ancient Quanzhou commercial district. So to the north side, we have the site of the Schwenty Bridge. In the north, we have the Anping Bridge. So these two bridges also constitute a very important transportation network inside of Quanzhou. So it is very important to have this many bridges in Quanzhou city. I understand back in the old days, it is very difficult to build a bridge over the river. After several attempts, under the leadership of Cai Xiang, the senior official in Song Dynasty, finally, Loyolan Bridge was successfully built. I believe it takes a lot of special techniques to build Loyolan Bridge. So before we are able to set up the bridge, we are trying to set up a temporary bridge by having the boil. However, this is quite dangerous because we are using some boats to constitute a bridge. If the boat capsized, and then the bridge will be collapsed. As we all say in Loyolan River, the water is very deep. So that's why we need to build a very solid bridge to cross over the river. At that time, people were saying, and as the water is very deep inside of the river, how are we able to build a bridge? And I believe back in the old days, people throw stones trying to fill in certain parts of the river. And they're also investing a large amount of people and using some machineries and trying to solidify the foundation of the bridge. So right now, Loyolan Bridge is a transportation hub connecting Quanzhou northward and also to Fuzhou and the nation's vast heartland, and represented the key of the Chinese bridge building technology in the Song-Yuan period. So you could see some traces of the stones, and also they do a lot of work to solidify the foundation of the bridge. After they build the foundation, people also doing a lot of work in laying up the surface for the bridge. So people also monitor the weather condition. They also have the boats and also have people to manually move the bridge plates on top of the bridge. When the tidal wave rises, and they have the boats driving towards the bridge plates, when the tidal wave going down, and then the bridge plates will be landed on top of the bridge and the foundation. Well, there are a lot of technologies involved in building the bridge. So that's why this is a world-class project. I believe back in the old days, it's very difficult to build a bridge. And also, it also conveys a lot of experiences to build other bridges in Quanzhou. And as for Loyolan Bridge, it has been preserved for over thousands of years. There may be a lot of restoration work to preserve the Loyolan Bridge. Back in the 90s, the local government also done a lot of work in the preservation. So we could actually preserve the original look of the bridge. Because of the time limits, we are not able to give you more information about the bridge So if you're coming to Loyolan Bridge, you could see it's quite a cozy experience. If you have time, make sure you pay a visit to Loyolan Bridge. Thank you. Right, we are going to the second stop of our live streaming, and actually I'm staying in the Jiu'ru mountain doing the praying inscriptions. And this time while we are choosing this place for the live streaming is to uncover some of the mysteries inside of the Jiu'ru mountain. And the top of the Jiu'ru mountain is actually only 110 meters. And this place is considered as a key institutional guarantee place to ensure the status of the Emporium of Quanzhou of the world. So in order to better understand this place, we also have a special guest joining us, Ms. He Chunyan from the Cultural Heritage Protection Center in Quanzhou City. Right now we are at the bottom, at the foot of the Jiu'ru mountain. And first of all, let's see, we have a memorial temple, the Sea God Temple, below the Jiu'ru mountain. Why we build this memorial temple below Jiu'ru mountain? So back in the Song-Yuan dynasties, when the ancient people coming here, they choose to live at the foot of the mountain. And according to the historic records, and for the sea gods, they're able to locate themselves here and to build a house here. So this is Tongyuan, the god of Tongyuan. So he used to be the god of a mountain, and then he turned himself into the god of mountain. And in the end, we consider this figure as a sea god. So this also shows a very prosperous maritime business in Quanzhou. Li Yuanfu at the beginning, he was the god of mountain after he came to Jiu'ru mountain. And we have so many people in this area, they are depending on the mountains and the river for their livelihood. When we are coming here, we could enjoy the beautiful environment and the natural environment here. And also, we try to understand some of the local beliefs in Quanzhou. And actually, for this memorial temple, it also shows the belief locally. And actually, for the sea god, they will give blessings to all the merchants, not the merchants from China, but also merchants from other countries. So now we are entering into the Jiuri Mountain winged praying inscriptions. So we have different tablets here. And actually back in the 1988, this place is become a national level protected area. And it is quite valuable for these winged praying inscriptions. And this time, it is considered as one of the World Cultural Heritage Sites. And as I said, the peak of the Jiuri Mountain is only 110 meters, even though it is not a large mountain, but it has a lot of cultural value. And we have over 70 sets of the stone carvings here. And soon we will be visiting the cluster of the carved stones. And then you could experience what it looks like for the stone carving in the Jiuri Mountain. This is actually a scenic spot. If we follow the path here, we are going to enter into the mountainous area. So this is the winged praying inscriptions. And for these carvings, they are actually produced on the cliff. So now we're actually looking at some of the historic stories. So it feels like we are trying to read their moments on the WeChat, so we could understand their life from the inscriptions on the stone carvings. So for us, if we are going to visit to some scenic spot, we are trying to take some photos and post a moment. And for the ancient people, if they are visiting some places, they may want to put some inscriptions on the stone. So let's take a look at this one. So I will try to translate the inscription. So in general, in plain language, it means I, together with my friends, there were many names of my friends. And also you could see the date when they are visiting this place. So meaning that for these inscriptions, it talks about who went to this place and when these people come to this place. So you could see the date is Double Ninth Festival. And back in the ancient times, for this group of people, they are coming to this mountain one day before the Double Ninth Festival. In general, it said, I paid a visit to Jiuri Mountain with my friends on the day before Double Ninth Festival. This is quite interesting. So all of these stone carvings can be dated back to the Southern Song dynasty, so 700, 800 years ago. So now we are going to another cluster for the stone carving. And half of the stone carvings are located in the Xifeng mountain. We have several winged praying inscriptions in the cluster of the Xifeng stone carving cluster. And for the east side, we have two winged praying inscriptions. On the right-hand side, you could see some of the inscriptions that have been provided by UNESCO. So now we are going to visit one of the most ancient stone carving. I could feel the air is very fresh. And for all of these stones, with thousands of years, you still can see clearly the inscriptions and the characters on the stone. So these are the most treasured, the treasures value for all of us. This is also a legacy from our ancestors. We really cherish all of these stone carvings. So for this one, it is the winged praying inscriptions that has the longest history. So for this one, it's actually produced in 1174. So let's take a look on the inscriptions on this stone carving. So if you're trying to read the inscriptions, it's quite difficult. Actually, this is a news coverage, news report back in the ancient days. So first we talk about the date. On the first day of the month, one of the ancient senior officials, together with his colleagues, and hold a grand winged praying ceremony in Jiuri Mountain. So the key word is winged praying. And also he lists the participants who are attending this winged praying activity. So this is also capture what happens in a ritual ceremony. So this also shows the local government advocates the maritime business. So also the purpose for the winged praying inscriptions is to pray for favorable winds to aid the voyage. So this one is another carving. So also it describes for some people they are coming to Jiuri Mountain, they are praying for wind and the rain. So for all of these inscriptions, it actually captures a lot of stories happened back in Yuan and Song dynasties. So actually their life is quite interesting. For example, for this one, so it also captures several names inside of the ring praying inscriptions. The reason why he wants to post this is saying he wants to send away his friends, and also he bring some wine just to see off his friends. So they are trying to capture their emotions by having the inscriptions on these stones. So for these two inscriptions, there may be some relations. It's quite symmetrical, especially if you look at the last character. It's the same for the two poems. So it requires a lot of skills for people to write up these kind of lines. So for the inscriptions, they were made by 1247. Alright, I would like to ask a question. We see a lot of wordings here, and also we are seeing a lot of wordings talking about water. Well, for some of the people, they mentioned the place here, the Jiuri Mountain. And also for the parking lot, in the ancient days, people can travel to this place by boat. And also by looking at inscriptions, for some of the ancient people, they're able to fish on top of the mountain. And also at the beginning and entrance, we have the Memorial Temple. This is also a place for fishing. With hundreds of years, maybe we're affected by some of the movement of the service and also affected by the human activities, but still, all of these stone carvings are preserved. Let's take a look at this one. The inscriptions here also talks a lot about the geological location of the Jiurushan mountain. And also the date is 1183. And this inscription talks about the commerce boat and the merchant boat departs in winter and they will go back to the Jiuru mountain in summer. So it said in winter we are organizing this wind praying ceremony because this is the ideal time for the ships to set out. And also we have the famous name Sima Yi. And also we have some members of the royal family. Their names also appear on this inscription. And also we have the person in charge for the customs and also the person in charge for the military. So he said, today we are gathering here is because we are praying for the wind, because about to set out for our voyage. We want to pray. Hopefully we can enjoy favorable winds. After we are protected by the god of sea, we have the bravery to conquer all the difficulties and the winds and also the waves. With the introduction, actually, we can feel the power of the local beliefs. So this is actually part of the national projects. They're actually serving the people by holding this grand ceremony to pray for the wind. So here we have only less than 20 characters. It describes the whole procedures for the wind praying ceremony. So this inscription was made in 1247. Zhao Shigen is actually coming from Kaifeng City. So he also took a very important post in Quanzhou. So you could see they organized a wind praying ceremony here. Because of the time limits, maybe we don't have time to take a look at each one of the stone carving. I think this is very important for us because we're trying to learn the history in the past. For each one of the stone carving, actually it captures the history at a different period of time. We are trying to read their stories. We are trying to communicate with ancient people. In the end, I would like to introduce this stone carving. And this is the newest one, only 30 years ago. So for this inscription was made in 1991. This is also one of the stone inscriptions made from the UNESCO. And when they're coming to this place, they're quite impressed by the stone carving. So also you could see the English version on the stone. So you could see the logo of UNESCO and also the signatures for people who are attending on the mission. So they're saying, if we look at the inscription saying that we have the inspectors from different parts of the world, we also have officials from the UNESCO. So they form a scientific research team. They are taking a boat and visit the Jiuru mountain. So they review the wind praying activities in the past, and also they are trying to collect more information about the wind praying. And also they have a slogan here, Roads of Dialogue, because they are considering for the Jiuri Mountain wind inscriptions, it actually constitute a communication channel between China and different parts of the world. And this also shows the friendship between China and other countries. Of course, we want to continue to carry forward this friendship. So this time, as Quanzhou has successfully gained the World Heritage status, it will also help us to better protect the Jiuri Mountain wind-praying inscriptions. So we have the supporting facilities, the hardware and the software to protect the Jiuri Mountain. We always attach great importance on the preservation of the cultural relics. So we just pay a visit to the Jiuri Mountain. Because of the time, we are not able to show you everything in the Jiuri Mountain. Actually, in Jiuri Mountain, you have all the inscriptions available. And Ms. Chen He just told us more information about the stone carving. I think for all of those World Heritage, they will build a bridge to connect China with different parts of the world. I believe as Quanzhou has successfully gained the World Heritage status, more and more people will pay attention to Quanzhou and pay attention to the Jiuri Mountain. I believe in the future, the friendship will continue to last. And for Quanzhou, as an open and inclusive city, our impressions will not only be inscribed in the stone, and also we also see some of the important notes from the ancient times in Kaiyuan Temple.